Are we live, Brandon? Yeah. All right. I'm still getting used to this new format, but a lot of people liked it yesterday. They said the charts were loud and clear, and they loved watching it on all different social aspects. If you are watching this on Instagram, the charts are all funky, so you're better off not watching on your phone. You're better off watching it on your desktop. So I want to see if I can get the live stream here. Red Pup, you're allowed to come in the screen. So does the live stream start here on
reload the page?
Reload the page? What, you like this? Oh, okay. Like this? Let's see. All right, everything's coming together a little bit. It's my name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. We are at the 630 Club. We are live where I go over different charts, what the market's feeling, some potential ideas that can make us money. And I love interacting with my dogs from around the world. Drink my little iced coffee. I did shave today. A lot of you guys are like, Red Dog, you look like the old dog with the beard and everything. So we'll see. Let's see, do I see everyone trying to talk to me? And no, on the desktop I don't get to see everybody. So let me go to my phone and see if it's coming up, so this way I can say hello to my crew. I'm sure it's already said hello. Pete Train said hello. Mike probably said hello. So let's see. Oh, there we go. See that, Red Pup? On the desktop, you don't get to see everybody interacting. That's what you told me yesterday. You told me that yesterday already? Oh, JD Coular, okay. I'm still trying to learn this. Listen, when you're a creature of habit, I am a creature of habit, and you have change, I can do it once it's in the routine. If it's in the routine, I can do it 1,000 times, but it takes me about 20 times just to get it. All right, we got Munich in the house. I can do it like this. Me and my girlfriend are coming to New York on March 30th. What do you want to do? You want to go to swingers clubs or you want to go to dinner? No, I'm kidding. I'm old now. You want to talk to somebody and learn. I would go to Tao. Tao's a good restaurant. Got Carmine's. It all depends. What up, Germany? How you doing? Oh, it's SPX Godfather. He's part of the Alpha team. Swingers better. It's a little bit more fun, but that's back in the day. Damn. I never did that. AMD, PayPal, Google earnings. Yep. Got earnings. Last week we had Microsoft and Apple, and it actually, gave nice trades. I went in. I didn't even have to take Apple into numbers, but you still could have taken it on Friday into today. I made a nice amount of money. We got Detroit in the house. Rolf joined the Alpha team. That's cool. I'm not the master. I'm just consistent. What about Google? I'm not going to have a Google option play into this. The premiums are high, and I have absolutely no FOMO with Google. Sometimes when I have FOMO that I'm going to miss a move in a very targeted situation, I'll take options into earnings. I'll never buy the stock before the print. I'll play it after hours, okay, with my levels, with options, but I won't just guess. I know a lot of guys guessed in Netflix because it was down $200 and they got their clock cleaned. And then they missed the last move after Ackman and Reed came in and bought some stock. Is Tesla special? You had a 2-day bounce. You had a red dog reversal when it reclaimed 829 on Friday. Yesterday, you had some follow through. This morning, there's a little bit news about a recall, which is good because it had a big 2-day move, so maybe there'll be a dip to buy. But anyway, there's me with the phone. Okay, so here we are. Let's get to it. So one of the questions that people are asking me is, Red Dog, what's the difference between a broken bounce and a new active sequence? I talk about active sequences because that helps me figure out what type of risk I want to have on. Are we in an active bearish sequence, which means you're below the 8 and 21 day, which means that you want to have risk down, you want to have not a lot of positions, you want to look for red dog reversals, you want to look for H cell setups, or are we in a nice smooth trend above the 8 and 21 day with leaders leading, with stocks breaking out, you're getting paid to hold 10 plays, 15 plays, 20 longs. I think at some point in the last year and a half, I had 40 names on that I was using my day trading tactics to create cash flow, but I was holding them because I was getting paid to hold them when they were above the 821 day. So we all know what happened to start January, which was a crazy month. You look here at the chart of the S&P. We started up here, and this was your false breakout on this wide range bar. That was the end of it. That was, hey, be careful here. We might not break out. No new money coming in. The Fed needs to take away the accommodation. Oh, by the way, I do about 150. Actually, I did 400 reps in a sauna today. That's what I do to wake up in the morning. I read my news and I sit in my sauna and I sweat. Part of the process. Anyway, so I did have a bunch of positions for the January effect that I lost money on. I did have a few things on thinking new flows, but then this day said, be careful, guys. It's not happening. And then this was your confirmation okay, to get out of Dodge. That's when we lost the 21 day. That is when we had that 3-day bounce off of the accelerated trend line. And then that doji, remember, I'm like doji style. We talked about it at the 630 Club. You guys were making fun of me. I was saying, listen, I know you like a doji style, but not if you're an active bull. If it goes below the prior low, you get the hell out of the way. And then that happened. And then we broke the accelerated trend line, and then PS, that's where we were. So now what? Okay, at this point, you know what? You had 2 very calculated days, which you only knew if you were in the right state of mind. You had the red dog reversal on the SPYs right here when we reclaimed 429. We held 427. My girl Isabel, if she's a big manager of a big fund, she was with me in RUA. I am staying long as we hold your level 427. And I'm like, well, you might want to give it to 420 also. Well, she did very well. And even yesterday when we were here, the SPYs were down $2. So if you took long the SPYs because like we had a red dog reversal Friday and you were upset that it wasn't up $1 or $2, I'm like, hey guys, sometimes you get some follow through and all you're going to do is sell what you had overnight. And yes, you have immediate gratification to make money. But if you work and you figure out your retracement rules, which I posted some of the intraday charts from Friday, the SPYs were buyable, okay, on the dip, and then also when it cleared 441 and 444. And then it also already got to the 450 target. We talked about, I'm like, maybe we can get to the 450 target. We got there yesterday. That's how fast and furious this market moves. And that is why you need to be prepared. And that is why you need confidence. So now, you know, the futures are flattish. What next? So this was the shaded area. This was like your bounce back area. Okay. At this point, I was saying, hey, maybe if we could hold, if we were down 3-4 points, I'd say maybe we could hold 4-4, like, you know, this 444 area, digest a little bit, and then have another move. Or, you know, the market just wants to, you know, continue, and that would give you a trade above 450.28. And then this is a real resistance zone here. I will most likely, I've been long the SPY since Friday. I added yesterday. I was also on the Q since Friday. I was on a bunch of things. I'm probably going to reduce those. If we get another push, today is Tuesday, to, you know, to the 452, 455 area. Oh, why don't you tell me that already? How come nobody told me I didn't have a chart up? See, it's hard to get good help these days. I'm only kidding. Red Pup's fine sometimes. No. Let's see. Oh, you guys were trying to tell me that on the regular phone. You did. See, this whole setup is a little different, so we have to sacrifice a little. I see everything on the phone when I'm doing it with the phone, but here I'm on my desktop. You know, you don't get to see everything. So anyway, so if you're in the market, you knew exactly what I was talking about. As a market participant, you might not remember to take out the garbage on a Tuesday or Thursday morning or some names of friends you just met, but you know numbers and you know levels. I could tell you even the numbers and levels of what were the Qs on, what was the red dog reversal on the Qs? But yes, that was, I think it was 340 yesterday, and here we have the SPYs up. That was Friday. But anyway, so I'm not going to go through it again. I feel like I was going through it talking to myself, but that's fine. So here again, that's where the active sequence started to the bearish side. Okay, this was your heads up on this wide range bar. Then this is where it confirmed that you better be careful. So now what? You remember I was saying how maybe we could bounce back and form the right shoulder of the head and shoulders top formula, or a formation formula that could then give you a bigger macro pattern to then fail and give you a lower low, right? You had the S&P in 2018, which is what I compare this to, the taper tantrum, where the Fed had to take away the liquidity and what everybody wants to call the punch bowl. But and the S&P went down 20%, the Nasdaq went down 24%. Right down here at 420 was only 10%, and we've already bounced back more than half of it. So I would be very careful buying anything in this area, at least at the first kiss. Sometimes you come up and then, you know, you get a pivot high, and then you come back down and you retest this like area and put a higher low in, or sometimes you create like a W formation and more time goes by. During that time, we figure out, is inflation really that high? There's a big debate about it. There's a debate about whether we're going to go 5-6 rate hikes or we're going to go 3-4. If I were a betting man, I would bet 3. But anyway, so at this point, you have to be very careful right here. I'm still on the SPYs. I still think we get another push. If we got a push to 455, what I probably would do is I would flip short a little SPYs, or for Friday I would go out and sell the 460 calls. Sell the 460 calls. You know, you probably get a decent premium if you get another push fast, and then that's a decent way of putting hedges back or putting shorts back without having to be perfect. You could do that with a lot of things. If big 3-day moves, if like, hey, I'm going to short the third day, perhaps the fourth day, if it continues, you might not be able to hold. But if you short calls higher into an area, like I don't think there's one, like if I were a betting man, I'd bet Red Pup that if the SPYs get above 460 and close above 460 on Friday, I'd run around the neighborhood in my boxer shorts in 10 degrees, just like Wim Hof. You ever know who Wim Hof is? You should look up, Google Wim Hof. He's awesome about breathing, about being in the cold, about emotional control. I do that about 3 times a winter. I'll go run in the reservation, you know, with Cadence in my panties. No, I'm kidding. Just shirtless. It's a sight to be seen. Everyone in Short Hills, the moms, they're like, what the hell's Red Dog doing? Anyway, so that's that. So if you look at the Qs, very similar. You know, the Qs gave you, 340, look at that. That was your Red Dog reversal buy. That was your spot. And then yesterday it showed relative strength in the morning. Remember, we came in, the Qs were up like $1.50 and the SPYs were down 2. So what does that mean? The Qs are showing a little relative strength. And then it cleared this area, took back the 8-day, went as high as 360, 365. It already is kissing the 200-day. So if we get one more push through here, I would say, you know, if we get to 366, I'd feel very comfortable going out a week even maybe and shorting the 378 or 380 calls to just collect some money, because I don't think in the next 2 weeks we're going to get over that spot. If we were to get to 366 fast or a little bit above it, I would probably even short some Qs. I sold my Qs yesterday, but I'm still in some tech. I didn't want to have the indices on and some stocks on. So once we get a big, usually 3-day move, I usually switch out of the indices. So I like to be in the Qs and the SPYs when you get this kind of move, just to make sure. If I think the market's going up, the Qs and the SPYs will go up. Sometimes you think the market's going up and the stock that you picked just didn't go up, and then you're like, wow, I wanted the market to go up, and I played 8 positions and 4 of them weren't good, and 1 of them was a hedge, and you didn't capture the move. So I this time captured the move with the SPYs, the Qs, the Apple, actually a little DWAC, and then I played some of Kathy's names like UPST and some of those. So anyway, 366 in the Qs. That's going to be pretty hard to get through, especially if it tries it today. And then this was, remember this support area, this 377 to 378. That should be a brick wall. If all of a sudden we paused, we got there, and then like good Google earnings or Facebook said something impressive and went up, or what if Amazon announced the split, which I don't think they will, but if they did, you know, you can get maybe an overthrow move. You could also just remember the jobs report's Friday, and I have a feeling that the numbers are going to be kind of light again because that was the peak of Omicron. So the programs right now in the computers are, if we get light data, that means the Fed might not have to go as crazy, and you have the buy programs for tech. So if all of a sudden you start shorting tech around here, and then on Friday you get a light jobs report, there might be one more overthrow in the Qs. So you might think it's so easy just to short because this is a broken bounce. But if you short too early, you're probably not going to be able to stay the course. Any of my dogs trying to talk to me right now? Anybody out there? Okay. Oh, you want me to show you ARK? Okay. Well, ARK also did a Red Dog reversal. Okay. Even ARK, the most freaking broken ETF out there, with names down from 159, and then the sell here at 121, and then the bear flag sell. Even ARK gave you a Red Dog reversal. Even ARK went below 64.98, came back above, and gave you a nice 8% move yesterday. So this is a 10% move in ARK with a calculated Red Dog reversal. You weren't catching a full night, buying ARK every $5. You were waiting for Red Dog reversal tactical buys. You saw it a few times. Here, it went for 3 days and failed. Here, it went for 3 days very fast. And now this time you have 2 days, so maybe there's a third. So if I was in it for a broken bounce, if I were you, I would be trimming into this little spot, the 78 area. But if they want to really push back and they want to make it hard on those who think they could just sell any rally in ARK, which is what has made people money, chances are, you know, maybe you even get a push up towards this area, which would then mean we're in a pretty extended move. But it's not going to go in a straight line. Then you'll probably see 2 weeks of a sequence that have viable dips. AMD, I'm not trading AMD into our numbers. They're after the close. AMD also gave you a Red Dog reversal on Friday. It went green first, right there at 101.95 after a big move lower. If you got out of AMD when AMD broke below the moving averages up at 144, 144. You could have bought here at 109, 101.95, and now it's coming into resistance. I would think if AMD is decent, you know, earnings, maybe you can get a move to this 125, 130 area. But I'm not going to buy options. I have no FOMO here. I'm just going to trade it. So you want to map out areas. If AMD is decent or solid, perhaps you can get a move to 125, 130, which is a nice move, but then that would be a wall of resistance. So I like to kind of map out areas. I did that with Microsoft. When Microsoft, you know, had a very solid report, it was basically this was the area of resistance, first kiss, and they sold it down, and then some guys made some money with this red dog reversal, and now it's inching up. But again, you know, what I want to see also in the next week or two, does any names show enough power to really, you know, push the bears back? Meaning, are we just bouncing to broken areas that make sense to burn off the oscillator? The oscillator, by the way, was minus 90 last week. And as of yesterday's close, it was minus 1. Means we're neutral, means we're not oversold anymore. Sometimes then all of a sudden they can mess with everyone and get a little overbought. But the oversold nature of the market's gone. Now it's going to be push-pull to see which direction wants to win, and what's going to happen is depending on, you know, earnings this week, whether it's AMD, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Google, whether it's Amazon, that's going to dictate a little bit of the action. So for Microsoft, I would say 317 is going to be a brick wall of resistance. Apple, yesterday I told you guys that I was long, gave us a really nice actionable play post earnings, but I would think that this 177 area is going to be some big resistance. It's had 2 days, so it might need a little time to digest. Then which oscillator? It's a version of the McClellan oscillator. Gold, gold. Everyone said gold's an inflation hedge. It's a hedge against fear. It's a hedge against Russia coming into the Ukraine. But meanwhile, it failed at resistance, and I'm in a big call spread for March. But I did manage it. What do I mean by managing it? Who said that? I want to manage it. What movie? Oh, anyway, that was when gold looked great. That was when I was like, hey, GLD could do a bit of a call spread. It'll be fun. It'll be nice. And maybe gold breaks out for the first time. P.S. it failed right there. So what did I do on the call spread? Into this down move, I bought back some of the sell side of the call spread. So I had straight calls. And now into this bounce, I'm going to sell a lower strike. So this way that helps me finance the GLD call spread. Yes, Rocky. One of my favorite movies. By the way, if you're a Stallone fan or a Rocky fan, Google Tribute to Rocky. There's like 8 different videos, and it summarizes all of the Rockies with the creeds, and it's a pretty cool trip down memory lane. And if you have 40 minutes to go on a trail run, Google Tribute to Carl Weathers. It shows the relationship with Rocky and Apollo. It's friggin' awesome. It's like a new movie, 40 minutes. It's like a new movie of all the movies. But anyway, crypto. Everyone's like, Redler, what about crypto? 2 weeks ago, you said it went from 75% cash to almost only 10% cash. That means 90% all in. I was definitely a little upset, and I was a little nervous, and I was like, wow, hopefully this finds a low. Crypto does trade with active sequences just like the market, but even cleaner. If you remember here, I actually went to 90% cash with this head and shoulders top pattern. We were talking about it. That was right before Elon came out and said he's not taking Bitcoin, and that was a fast and furious move. So we were out of the way, and then here it gave you this cup and handle pattern, right? Gave you a nice buy signal right here around July 20th after holding this 28 to 30,000. Then it had an active sequence all the way up to 63.5. That's when I went to 75% cash. And then if you remember on this down swoosh, I pretty much put a lot of things back to work. More in altcoins that I had that we made 7, 8, 9 times on that I started buying a tiny bit too early. But anyway, so now into this rally up, I'm probably 50% cash, meaning that a lot of these altcoins all went like 20 to 30%. So I had a nice buy in the hole here. And this is one resistance. That would be your next resistance. So I figured, hey, why don't I reduce some? And then if we wind up getting a move back lower to retest this area, I have a lot of cash to work with. So we'll see. I think we need some time before we get a real buy signal. Again, like a buy signal, meaning that now maybe we go sideways for a while, again, kind of like what happened here, and then it tries to take back the moving averages in this descending trend line, and you get some more action. But for now, we'll see how it goes. I'd love one more push, because there are some of my favorite altcoins. Like, remember I posted yesterday to you guys, I'm like, I think you guys can make 15% or 20% in Sol. We're ready. Well, it happened, you know, just this little move, right? Isn't that nice in crypto, where you have one little move, you can make 15%, even though all the real crypto guys are like, I don't want to play crypto unless I make 8 times my money. I'm an equities guy. I'm like, I'll take 20% in a day. So anyway, I posted this the last 2 days, and I bought some around actually 92, 93, and I just sold some at 107, and I'm going to sell a little bit more into here and just catch a nice little trade into this descending trend line. Then at some point, if some of these descending trend lines break to the upside, we'll get a better bounce. I also showed you guys Crow, which is crypto.com, which owns the rights to the Lakers video, whatever, the Lakers stadium, and then you also have the Rams with the Rams, SoFi. I bought SoFi for a bounce yesterday. But anyway, this Crow is interesting, or crypto.com. Why? Because it gave you a nice broken bounce, you know, off of this area. I started buying this at like, first of all, look at this beautiful 40 cents and 97 cents. That was great. Then it broke the 8-day just like everything else. That's when you reduce risk. And then I did buy a lot into this down move, and I trimmed a little bit around 43 cents. But now I want to see, can anything take out these descending trend lines, or are they just bounces to the trend line to head lower? Kind of like the equities. This is just a bounce into resistance to then head lower, or can the bulls penetrate and push the bears back? So if this were to get another nice push, I would say, hey, maybe some things could act on their own and be decent. And if this were to happen, you probably could see a fast move into the Super Bowl to about 50 cents or so for that move, which is another 20%. So don't laugh about 20% crypto, guys. There's real money there for us equity guys. Usually my sweet spot in equities is I like to make 3 to 5% catching a 2 to 3 day move in NASDAQ names like in Apple or Microsoft or this or that. But crypto, anyway, but this looks pretty good. There's supposed to be some commercials during the Super Bowl, so maybe it runs in anticipation of that. So it's just a thought. Some guys are like, well, what about coin? Because everyone's trading Coinbase. I'm like, well, you had a red dog reversal in coin right around 162. If you remember this 208 to 2, this 200 it was big resistance. So you kind of probably missed a bunch already. I think you can get back to here, but usually when you get back to a big support area, it turns into resistance. So perhaps maybe this wants to fill the gap. But I'd be careful into this spot. I'd be a seller into this area first, you know, before buying it. You should have been buying it on Friday. So with that said, UPST, I think, just like a lot of other broken growth names, has room to bounce. Some of these things that have been controlled by the 8-day got above the 8-day, so now you have to see what's next. So you're asking about UPST. I played it yesterday, made good money there. It's broken, but this was 400. This broke trend to 325. So down here, hey, maybe there's a little bit more action. So at this point, if you're trading it, some guys, this is the question, okay? Is this a new active sequence or a broken bounce? Well, so far you had a bottom tail, and then it showed some commitment to the bottom tail, and then yesterday gave you a move above the 8-day. I'm not sure what it's doing right now. It might be up $1, down a few. If it's down a few, I would look to buy it to go green. And then here's your 21-day. This hasn't been above the 21-day in quite some time, so that probably will be some resistance around 115. So below 75 to 115, that's a nice move if you could tactically, surgically do it. So that's what we do. Are you still tactically? I am tactically long. I'm only in 5 positions. But I'll probably, if we get another push, I'll probably have a little less, and I'll sell some calls higher, and then figure it out, and then day trade some names. Like right now, what's Tesla doing? Red Pup. I'll leave you with Tesla. Tesla had a great move, nice 2-day move. Okay, you had your red dog reversal here at 829. How much is it down?
It's down $8.
All right, so big recall. Everyone's chattering it up on Twitter about the recall. So here was 829. That was your red dog reversal. If you took it home long, you got paid. Went to 937. So now, because of the news of a recall, whether it's a big deal or not, it's down 8. Maybe there's a viable dip for it to have an inside day and then continue a little bit higher. But then this 980 to 1020 level, I would think that's a wall of resistance. If we were up today, I might have sold some calls for Friday, like maybe the 1020s for like $5. But now that we're down, what you could also do is you go to your intraday chart. That's what I did yesterday. I went to my intraday chart to find out where some support was from the prior day Friday to figure out the retracement rules. So I have to leave you with this. So if you go to the 5-minute chart on Tesla, okay, which is right here, you will see that you could probably say that, hey, 920 is some support. So if it sees 920 and it holds there and you see some relative strength, maybe you could buy the dip at 920 and then it tries to go red to green for cash flow to show some commitment to the past 2 days. But just be careful because the 2-day move is that big. So if it broke this, chances are, I don't think it's going to, I guess you go kind of across here. This is 893. There's definitely some room. So I would say if this is going to be any good and show some commitment and say, hey, the recall is not a big deal, this 914 to 920 area holds. Where is it trading right now?
928.
928. So it's not even at support really. So those of you who are all worried about it, then don't be. Just know that it did have a big move. And if you didn't take home Tesla long, I didn't take home Tesla long, I'll probably look at it just for cash flow. Maybe it goes from down 8 to up 4 and you take that trade versus a big time red dog reversal like Friday into an overnight. You have to think about where these things came from. Think about what type of market are we in. Think about where your next spot that might be harder to get through. Because right now the easy bounce and everything is over. SPYs, 450 target was met. Qs, the 200-day was met. Now the question is, can it hang here and give another push, or can they, do a little bit of an overthrow for those people who started just shorting everything, thinking, hey, we're going making lower lows in the next few weeks. I don't care how we get there. I'm just shorting. I'd rather wait for the signal and be a little bit more perfect, but sometimes being a little bit more perfect, you don't get your prices. So you have to find that happy medium. And that's what life's all about, finding happy mediums. Listen, I'm already above, 657. I'm going to get yelled at by the brass. But I'm a founding partner, so they can't yell at me too much. But they always say that, hey, got to keep it to 15 minutes. I know you want to help the world. And Scott Redler's here to help, which is what started during the 630 Club when this was created during the pandemic. I think it's a great way just to hang out and just said no video detected. Searching for a signal. Okay, still trying to figure it out. Well, I got to jump. Once again, Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. If you want to hang out with me all day, there's ways to do it. I have the Alpha Team. I have the Redler Report. You could email me, Scott at T3Live.com, Scott at T3Live.com. I'll give you over to a trader counselor, and you can be part of the dog pound full-time versus, in the morning, which I do also appreciate.